Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right. Thank you for being here with me. It's always such a huge honor for me. Can you tell I'm getting to the end of my energetic resources here? No. I'm super excited. We have the star card, which is all about reaching our goals. It's about dreaming our dreams, living our dreams, and all the stuff that it takes to get that done, right? I would say no dream that really, the big dreams of our life, none of those are going to just be given to you. They don't just fall in your lap. You don't just randomly inherit it, and walk into that life. Maybe somebody somewhere has before, but I would say for the majority of us, no. Our dreams that really mean something, they are spread out over a lifetime of ordeals, of triumphs, of losses, of failures and missteps and little moments of boredom and achievement and all the stuff. And that's what makes it so beautiful when we finally reach those goals. So, I love having this energy. We're going to see what are you dreaming of. And I'm going to go ahead and turn. And I want to say again, thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for hanging out here. If you have a prayer request, you can put that in the comments, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. I've been getting a lot of emails lately. I know that not everybody likes to put their business out in public. If you don't feel comfortable asking for prayer in a public setting, you can definitely email me. Also, if you want to subscribe, or leave a comment in general about anything, definitely, put that one in the comments. Let me know, what are you doing for Halloween if you celebrate, if you observe? What are you going to be doing? What are you dressing up as? Or, if you're not dressing up, what was your favorite costume? I think I'm supposed to be a Enderman this year from Minecraft. I think that's what my daughter told me I would get to be. We're now in that stage of life where she's picking. She's picking for all of us. All right, let's see here. Again, the number 7. Are you kidding me? Every reading I've done today, number 7. This one's actually it looks like a piece of fruit around it, like an apple. We have a person over here. It looks like a bird person. The head almost looks like a pterodactyl. Above the head is a flame, so we're going to go with that wand energy. Behind them there is a dog or a coyote or something like a canine of some kind. This definitely gives me the high priest energy, the Hierophant, a devotee of the fires. And up here we have, it looks like a mountain range, and then we have something that looks like maybe a comet. Some kind of celestial happening. And then we have hearts up here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get started on that part, and then we'll go down here and kind of look at this stuff. So I feel that there is really a turn towards religion, spirituality, feeling more connected with maybe your core beliefs, your true will, your authentic, being. And I feel that you are exploring that through, whatever your practices are. If you're doing magic, if you are returning to, I don't know, maybe you've not gone to temple in some years and now you've decided that you want to start going back, or, something like this. Or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you signed yourself up for like one of those silent, meditation retreat type things, and you've never done anything like that. But whatever it is, I do feel like maybe for the first time in quite a while, there's a sense of deeper meaning. Okay. That's not to say that you don't have very meaningful experiences sometimes, maybe not all the time, but, sometimes. This, though, feels different because it has so much to do with your faith, right? And it feels like returning home. I feel like there is a real sense of where I have been confused. Now I'm starting to see it is all so simple. And that's really the key here. This is the do of the thing. I feel that life, has maybe given you some tower moments. Okay, you've had some trials and tribulations, definitely. Maybe not fully over that, but enough that you have the clarity to see that you don't want to continue to just work on the symptoms of the thing. You want to get to the core of this. You want to get down in the roots and see, where are we having a problem, or what needs to be changed, or what do I need to add to my life? What do I need to clear my life out of? And I think that you're being very honest with yourself, because you have a very genuine desire for something else, something better, something more aligned with how you want to be living, existing, feeling. And so I feel that, this won't come easily. No, not by any means. This is kind of like, that saying, like, don't, change horses in midstream. What does that mean? That's like when you're getting off your horse in the middle of the river, the stream, which is treacherous, and you are jumping onto a different horse, right? And so many things could go wrong there. But sometimes there's no other choice. And so I feel for you. There has been this, maybe not abrupt, but this real push towards like, I'm changing my life one way or another, because time is short. It is slipping through our fingers like sand. And you're not going to live in a way that feels like a prison. You're not going to do it anymore. So, I do feel there's also a real sense of, in this release, finally being able to just express yourself, your love, your excitement, your silliness. I think for so long you've been holding your breath, your shoulders tight, your jaw just clenched up, because you have had something in your life, somebody in your life, a situation, an environment. Maybe it's work, maybe it's the household, maybe it's your spouse. I don't know who or what it is, but it has kept you in this rigid state. Like you cannot relax. Even when you're away from it, you are still, that oppressive energy is lingering. And it is not like you. It is not like you to make yourself small. It's not like you to, live in somebody else's, perception of reality. But you have been. And I think it had become unlivable for you anymore. You just can't go on that way. And so I feel you. And I do. Listen, we have this up here. It was the apple with the 7 in it. For your health. For your wellness. So that you may continue to grow and evolve as a being. You have to walk away from whatever it is. And I think that you probably are in the process of, or you have already. It is a fundamental change in your life. But I don't think that for you, it's like there's no other choice here. Because I can't continue to do this. And with the world the way it is right now, as the backdrop, I don't know. Maybe it's harder to make these decisions, or maybe it's easier. I don't know. Maybe we vacillate between the two. But I know for myself, even things like the holidays coming up, the way the world has been, the way that even my life has been since, I don't know, the last 5-10 years, I just absolutely am not doing things I don't want to do anymore. I mean, there are a lot of things like cleaning, dishes and stuff. I don't want to do it. I will, and I'm going to. But I'm talking about, I am not going to spend my entire holiday driving from house to house. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be uncomfortable for special days anymore, I'm just not. I'm not doing it anymore. You want to come to me? Fine, cool. But I'm not going out of my way to do things or I don't know. It could be anything. Not just the holidays. I'm not, I'm not chasing anybody. That's a big thing too. I'm just too old at this point in my life. I am not chasing any kind of friendship or trying to get somebody to understand me or, in a constantly, every time I talk to you, I'm worried that I said something wrong, or if I show a little bit too much of my, awkwardness or kind of eccentric, behaviors or things I talk about or whatever. I don't want to be worried about it, and I'm not going to be anymore. I'm just not going to engage that kind of situation, dynamic, life's living that way. Just not anymore. I'm too old. Too old. Time's too short. The world's too insane. I just want to hang out with my family. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for a lot of us, and I feel like probably you're in a similar space, it's not even about saying it and then you fall back in line and do what you're supposed to do and you've done it what we've always done. No, I think a lot of us are saying, no, I'm for real. I'm not kidding. This isn't I'm not trying to get attention for this. I'm not trying to get you to talk me into it. Dude, I'm not doing stuff I don't want to do anymore. I just am not. I mean, well, I'll do all my kids' stuff. There's some things I don't want to do that she likes to do, and I do them because she's my daughter. Those things I'm willing to do. Some of my husband's stuff, I'll do as well because I love him. But beyond that, no. Sorry. Just not. And so I'm happy to see, that you are in a similar place because it is so freeing. It is so freeing. And that's not to say like you're just unwilling to like show up for anybody. If anything, honestly, it gives me more energy to do the things where I'm being of service than taking away from it, or me being like, well, I'm not doing that because I don't want to. No, I'm going to help you move. I don't want to move anybody, but I will show up for people I care about. Of course I will. You know, what I don't want to do is go into a situation where I feel like I'm wasting my time, or I'm being disrespected, or, you know, whatever it is. Or it's a situation where I just feel uncomfortable the whole time. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that to my nervous system anymore, you know, unless it's a good uncomfortable. Like you're learning something. I'm getting brave enough to go on this like zip line or something. But being socially in like that anxious space, I'm cool. Now we have the number 555, 555. We have a heart. We have a person holding a child. Here's the child. Here's the person holding it. The heart is here. So there seems to be some degree of maybe like a emotionally unavailable parent. And I think that maybe this was maybe the mother figure. Now, back here, it looks like we have kind of maybe kids raising themselves a little bit. Now, this could be that we have, you know, the classic, if you are my age or older, Generation X or older millennial, a lot of us had parents that weren't home. You know, they were both of them were working all the time, were out doing things that they wanted to do. And, you know, there's a big group of people that kind of, we raised ourselves, we raised each other. And so I kind of feel like maybe you come from a situation similar to this. I do feel like maybe there was some degree of like depression involved with this with the mother figure. And I do feel that there has been in your life a sense of maybe having some amount of, I don't know, seeking validation from other people, acceptance, you know, maybe even like on the extreme, like love addiction, you know, physical addiction in that way, copulation, something like that. Okay. Maybe not to the extreme, but, you know, just like maybe you're like a serial monogamist, or, you know, you're always like dating, you know, multiple people, which is nothing wrong with that, but like it's almost compulsive, right? Like you don't know what to do with yourself in between partners, or, you know, and listen, a lot of people like this. I myself definitely would have been like that. I took a few years before I met my husband, after my first husband passed away, to just be alone. And it was real. I mean, I'm almost like stuttering thinking about it. The first year and a half or so, it was very difficult. I was like detoxing from needing to like be codependent with somebody always being around. Now I'm, you know, I wouldn't call us codependent, but my husband and I, we do everything together. We have a business together, you know, we work at home, so we're always together. You know, we go everywhere together. All my daughter's stuff we do together, and, you know, whatever. And that's just how I like to live. You know, I don't know how else to say that, but that's just the way that I do relationships. But I did need that time, to be alone. I mean, it was, 4 or 5 years or whatever. And, sometimes it's worth trying other ways, even if it feels really scary or painful. And I'm not advocating that everybody be alone. Some people just really don't like to be alone, and that's fine. But I feel like there's been some amount of this, and I think that at times, like, it's gotten in your way, right? Or maybe you have settled for situations that were not ideal for you, and maybe overlooked things that you otherwise wouldn't, right? And so I do feel like this is part of the healing journey. And something that I feel like you've, maybe been very conscious of. And I just want to say, if this part of the reading is resonating with you, if you feel that you have been like trying to work on that or not, maybe it's something that you're still like deeply in. I just want to tell you though, I love you and I'm proud of you. We all live differently. We all go through different kinds of relationships and dynamics in our life. And, if you find yourself in this kind of, place, and it's something that you don't know how to kind of break away from, or you don't want to, that's okay. And also, there's always time. Be kind to yourself. We all have stuff to work on. We all have it. So, and if you are maybe somebody who has been working on this and, living a different way, then I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you no matter what. But, it's not easy. And I know that. I know it's hard. So I do feel like this year of your life has been a lot about not needing external validation, right? So we also have the number. What number are you? 4. There's a 4 in there for sure. 64. We're going to go with 64 up here. Okay, and we have the Dark Mother, we have the Tower. Oh, yes. We have the Tower, we have the Dark Mother, and we have, yeah. So I almost wonder if there, was a situation or a dynamic where it feels like this older feminine energy in your life. Why is this still going? Oops. I never turned off my exercise thing. Anyway, sorry. There seems to be a woman in your life who there is that emotional neglect or inability to connect, or they just kind of isolated themselves a lot, it seems like. And I feel like there was always the desire to be connected with them. But here's the deal. Anytime you start to get away from them and do your own thing, then they lash out at you. And if that is still the current dynamic, or if maybe that's an old one from when you were young, there's still that lingering oppressive feeling. I do feel like there are even times where you feel like you're going to get in trouble for feeling the way you do, or making a mistake, or saying too much, or, whatever it is. So I do feel like you probably grew up around somebody who not only was emotionally unavailable, but also emotionally immature and manipulative as well. And so I feel like for you, there has been this inability to maybe like trust people, to trust yourself. When you're in friendships, relationships, even at work, maybe there are times where you maybe feel like you're an imposter. You don't know what you're doing. You're being, heavily scrutinized because, whatever. But I feel like a lot of this, it comes from this old thing that really seems to linger over you. Now, I do feel like you've missed opportunities and things have gone awry in your life because of, maybe at times you have kind of poor self-esteem or, your self-confidence isn't there. And I feel like, whatever this last thing was in your life, this last tower moment, it has really shined the light on that oppressive energy in your life. And I do feel like now that you see it, there's no way you are allowing this to rule you anymore. So this is some of the hardest work that we do, is the mother wound, is the communing with the dark mother, okay? And the shadow work that goes around not only our mother, how we were mothered, but how we ourselves dwell in our mother archetype. Now, you don't have to be a woman or consider yourself a mother, but you do contain the mother archetype, okay? And it's many varieties. And so I do feel like this is maybe a place to begin maybe doing some research, doing some shadow work, to start reading about it. At least go and read about the mother wound, and know that it's not an easy read. It's emotional, definitely. Now we're going to come over here. We have a heart, we have a sailboat. I feel like there's a real draw towards maybe the ocean. I feel like this is something that comes through a person that is often with you and they have transcended. It feels like an older male, and I feel like they were maybe in the Navy, maybe in the Air Force, but at sea. I wonder if they were in the Korean conflicts or the maybe World War II, but it could have been any of the number of things that came out. And now I'm from America, obviously, so I'm thinking of things that wars and conflicts that our military has been involved in. But I almost kind of feel like this is somebody who was at sea or near the sea, has this deep attachment to it. This is like so much a part of their personality. Maybe even like when they came home, they, would take the family to the ocean every year, or maybe even move the family. They went to go live at the ocean. There's a draw. Now, this comes down through you as well. I feel like you are very drawn to the ocean. If you have not lived there, I feel like that's like one of the big dreams of your life. But you're drawn to water in general, of course. But the ocean, it's the ocean. And this grandfather or uncle or somebody, whoever this is, they are around you. And why? Besides that they love you, of course, but there's something else. It's something like you had the same eyes as like their little brother or little sister. There's something where you have a very similar look to a family member. I don't think you ever knew them. I think they passed away young. They were a younger person. I don't think your family even talks about it that much. But that's, I think, you have the same kind of energy, essence, smell of as this person that passed away young. And I think this is why they are attached to you, the uncle or whatever. It would be their younger sibling. So maybe like your parents, another sibling. Or maybe your grandparents' sibling. It could be this is a generation later or earlier. There's something about picking up apples. Showing me picking up apples, putting them in a brown sack. And laughing. And crying. And feeling embarrassed about not always being able to control it, keep it in. And I think for you, probably being young, knowing this person, this uncle or grandfather, whoever it is, I think for you, seeing somebody who could go from laughing and crying was kind of like startling. But I think it also opened you up. It opened your heart. I think you went out into the world knowing that, people are different, and sometimes, things happen that make it hard for people to exist, and they have emotional wounds and psychic wounds. And I think you seem like an old soul, like people would say that to you. I do not like when people say that to me. I'm like, yeah, that's the trauma. But yeah, I feel like there is a sense of you having to grow up quickly. You had to take care of yourself a lot. But also there, were adults in your life who did not hide their emotions. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. But I think it really opened you up to accepting and being empathetic of other people and being more understanding. Okay. But not like a detriment, like you'll just put up with anything. But I feel like this person especially has helped inform your ability to love so deeply. All right, we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 54, 7, of course, 7, and 77, of course. Okay, so so many 7s today. It's wild. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. And it says, compassion. As you pray each day for greater compassion, a new self is born, drawing new people and experiences. Dear Lord, help me feel ever deepening self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. Perfect card for today. All right, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Gemini, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. If you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I just want you to be really nice to yourself. Do something fun, enjoyable in the next week or two. Take a little break. And yeah, get some rest. All right. I love you. Good night.